Hey, my name is Ines. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is where we safely feel the feels and talk about all things spirituality. The sun is on its way down, but it is exactly at this part of the ledge in the window. So that's what you see on my face. So I kind of just have to let it happen. Today, I wanted to talk about how to get started on self-help therapy. So I have some notes on it. I am going to be doing multiple videos because there's quite a lot to cover. This is just going to be like a quick little intro, and then I'm going to do a bit more in detail stuff. So how to start self-help therapy. We're going to address thoughts, especially upsetting intrusive shadows. Identify and process blocks, aka emotions, and anything that's literally blocking your energy. Then you're doing inner child and inner teen. Then we have shadow work, and then we have interdependence. And then we're going to talk about how to recognize you need help. I do also want to address generational trauma. Generational trauma is very much real. Trauma is embedded in your DNA, and it does get passed down through the cells while a mother procreates and creates new life and a new child. That new embryo, new baby, literally gets DNA downloads of her mother's unhealed trauma. So when it comes to healing, I really just want to say, take your time, get to know your background, your history, your own and your family's, because they do play a really big role. I know science is just starting to come out with that, but the way that my guides show me is, I've talked about it in another episode, where check out What is a Soul. In that episode, I describe more about how DNA and energy works within your DNA. So definitely check that one out, and I'll have a link below. Okay, so how to start self-help therapy. So address thoughts, especially upsetting, intrusive, and any shadow thoughts. There's so much of our society that tells us to, like, if it's not a good feeling, it shouldn't be felt, which is false information. It's false narrative. You are supposed to feel every single emotion that comes up, including all of the bad emotions. The bad emotions are the ones, like the shadow emotions, they're the ones who allow you to keep track of anything bad going on in your life. So if you have intrusive thoughts, if you have shadow thoughts, I'm going to go up to this little trusty guy. I love this chart so much. I use it an insane amount of time. So shadow thoughts are more on the lower scale. So anything that can kind of be keeping you from thriving to your full potential, or any of these shadow thoughts that keep you from these more grander thoughts. These grander thoughts is kind of where your confidence and your strength lie. So when you're mentally, emotionally healthy, you're naturally in those higher emotions. So when you're emotionally unhealthy, you're going down the spiral and you're going into these shadow thoughts. Shadow thoughts are intrusive thoughts as well. Intrusive thoughts can also be spiritual attacks. And I'm going to talk about that in a different video. We're not talking about that right now, but be mindful of it. And part of you getting to know your own journey is understanding the difference. Shadow thoughts and emotions, you require shadow work. There's a ton of great creators out there that talk about shadow work, also in combination with therapy. I have done my own shadow work, and I have used scientific therapy to help me with the shadow work, along with shadow work spiritual specialties. So I've combine the two. And again, getting to know yourself and your own spiritual journey, you'll understand which one you need more of. And I highly suggest you take from both. They're both there. They're both accessible. Why not? Why would you limit yourself to one piece of information? Part of expansion, ascension, and spirituality and growth, emotional processing and healing is literally taking whatever you can to help you heal. You also want to be mindful of it. You want to have discernment. If it doesn't feel right, that it's not for you. That information is not for you. And the same way that you have all of these things, you've got blogs, you've got articles, you've got creators talking about it. Some of these aren't for you. And getting to know your soul and your spirit, you get to know what information is for you. One of the things you're going to address is how healing certain things can take what feels like forever. Sometimes you can get stuck on one part of healing and shadow work. I have been stuck on self-doubt for, I swear to God, 10 years. And just now I am feeling that healing process. Whereas other things I can pick up and do so fast. So it really depends on you and what you've gone through and what you have a hard time facing. The whole point of self-help therapy, obviously there's therapy available, so why would you do the self-help? You would do self-help in correlation and collaboration with actual therapy. Self-help therapy allows you to find the journey of your soul, is to go on the journey of your soul. So a lot of the times in regards to this chart, we are told not to feel these emotions, and if we do, to ignore them. One of the things that happens when we ignore our emotions is we create emotional or energetic blocks. Emotions is energy in motion. And a lot of the times when we talk about energy, it is through our emotions, which is why shadow work and spirituality is such a big deal. And this is why so many people, so many creators who are very experienced and very talented with sharing spiritual information, they always say shadow work, do your shadow work. So the point of self-help therapy is to help you identify and process blocks as you go along. So like I said, in the past, we have been told to not feel nice feelings. If you feel nice feelings, it's going to make you feel even worse. That's actually the worst information you can ever get. You are supposed to process your emotions. You are supposed to feel the things no matter how crappy they feel, because feeling them out allows you to learn them, understand them, and heal them. Your shadow emotions are always going to kind of linger. Think about like sadness, anger, frustration, irritability. They're always going to be there. But addressing them and getting to know them allows you to understand how to heal it and how to move on from it. A lot of the times as well, when you do shadow work, you actually get really strong. I always say shadow work is teaching you how to wield the sword. The sword is you and your power. So it just makes you stronger. And the more that you heal your shadows, the stronger you become in duality and in closer to those light emotions like love and enlightenment. So the top 3 areas that I would start doing your therapy and your self-help therapy and your self-growth journey in, when you're doing journaling, processing your emotions and kind of scanning your emotions. I'm going to have a meditation at the end for this. You want to look at your inner child and your inner teen, and then you want to do your shadow work. So addressing any of those shadow emotions that you've been burying down. And then I would talk about interdependence. I feel like it's not one of those topics that's like very popular, like the inner child or the shadow work, but it's one that I find insanely important because it allows you to understand your relationship with other people. So with some people, you might be really dependent on them. With other people, you might be too independent. Interdependence teaches you healthy balance of connection and reliance on other people, and it teaches you how reliable you are yourself in regards to other people. So those are the 3 areas that I would start. And I am going to do these in more detail later on, so keep an eye out for those. And right now I'm going to get into the meditation. And this is a meditation of how to scan yourself so that you can identify and process blocks and address, recognize any sort of emotions and shadows. So we'll see you there.